Hello everybody, how's it going today? How's the evening going so far? And at long last, I have finally found a good movie after for so long on websites looking for a good movie to watch. And this movie was just an absolute masterpiece. It's one of my favorite and one of the best action films I have ever seen. It was just brilliant. It's called Bullet Train Down, and it's about these people on a bullet train, and a guy called Scott and Lou, and Scott gets a phone call from like some sort of criminals that said that they rigged they rigged the train with explosives, and if they go below 200 miles per hour, then the train explodes essentially. Oh my god, I can't fathom how incredible this movie is. And you got characters in there. You got a character called Kester Briggs. You got Vigo in the train as well. The other characters weren't that much significance. There's some of the stuff I may say maybe just not in chronological order the movie, but I'm going to talk about loads of scenes in it. Fantastic. I mean, the script writing, the dialogue as well, the intensity, the climax, the build up, especially that scene where they had to contact, I think, the Department of Security. Who is it? Scott, I think his name is Scott. And you got like the engineer Holly, and who else do you have? I kind of forgot who else is in it, but these are the main people that are in it. And obviously the criminals obviously just explode one car because Scott thinks they weren't being serious, and that was like like a warning type of thing. And you got Kessa, who is in the who's an ex-military soldier and ex-bomb expert, and I kind of knew he was a bomb expert because I kind of knew he was in the military because of how you can hear that as things happen, like he's having flashbacks. You can hear it in his mind. He's having flashbacks, so I thought, okay, he's gonna be significant. He's gonna know what's going on. He's gonna know how he's going to know how to deal with it. And he got, obviously, they did a background check and they found out, and Scott and Lou wants him on board, even that Jack, his name is not bad, but Jack, something like that. And so Jack, Scott and Lou obviously want him on board, and he defuses one bomb. Oh my god, the tension in this part right here where he has to go into the vent and disarm one bomb on there, and he finds it's a decoy, and he tells him it's a decoy, so the real bomb is somewhere else, and that's just a coup. And these criminals keep demanding, the money from, I think his name is Jack. Jack, and then Jack pays him. I don't really know why he did that. To be quite honest with you, I don't know why Jack had to pay him. I don't remember anybody doing that in the movie, but he's desperate. And he doesn't want. I think he was in charge of the train. He was one of the people that was responsible for the train, getting getting made and built. And Kessa obviously has to find out how he can get the passengers safe. Oh my god, there's so much detail in this movie. It's absolutely incredible. And there's actually a scene where he goes onto the roof with with using duct tape, because in the military you have to be an expert at practically everything. Goes up there and the bomb is right on the roof, right up there, and it was like a struggle for him. And it's the intensity and the climax of this is mad. Goes up and he gets a bomb, folds it and it explodes. I bet that the criminals are watching from the surveillance, and goes back down, and still nothing's like out, like over yet. They still have the train is going at high speeds. I'm going to have to try and remember every single bit of this movie. It really is incredible. Like my memory's good, but when there's too much detail, I'm trying to remember everything, and you begin to find out two people that were behind it. Bear that in mind, I had my suspicions on one person, but not another person. So I was like, there's got to be something that's responsible for it. And Lou mentioned that it's connected to, you see that somebody, one of the security guards getting strangled to death in the start of the movie. So that links up to it. And then you gradually get to see it. Bear in mind, watch the movie first, and then come back and watch my video, because I give it all away. Obviously, that's part of what I do on YouTube, is talk about these type of movies and talk about the whole way through. And the ideas this Matrix Soldier were given was mad. It was he knew what he was doing. You know, he was trying to help passengers, reassured that if it's going to be a claim, that he couldn't talk about what he was told. And then you begin to find out that somebody was in on it. As soon as he defused the bombs and he had an idea on how to work it, we found out that one person was behind it, and that was Holly. Holly, the engineer, was one of the people behind it. And she looked, and I was like, why is she looking so like suspicious? Like she's going to do something. So she then begins to actually disable like the controls to stop the train, disable a lot of other things, and then escapes a parachute. I don't know if they call it one, I didn't show that bit. And then they have to figure out a way to make sure the passengers are safe without the train having to go any further and reach and go to the end of the tracks. And yeah, so this is where you begin to find out the other person coming into it, and they suggest a decoupling where they actually have to, you know, like how do you say it? Like uncouple like one car to another, like disconnect them. That's the word. Disconnect them, and the passengers safe instead of like without them getting hurt too, which is a smart idea, a very smart idea indeed. What else? Bloody hell! It's too much to go. And then we begin to find out who the other culprit is, and that was Vigo. Vigo, who said to this, who got to know Kessler on the train. I think he mentioned about being good at computers. I know he probably used a different name, and I probably gave it away. But you know what I mean when you get into. I think he used the name of Franco. I can't remember what name he used, but it just said Vigo on the side. So I don't know if he actually said that from the start. But yeah, I kind of knew Vigo was behind it. I had a feeling. The way he was looking around like that, all suspicious, like he was up to something. I just had a feeling he was behind it. I didn't know Holly was going to be behind it though, but I just knew he was behind it. And he knew Kessler personally. He even told, you know, like I think it was the criminal. I don't know who the criminal was behind the phone, telling Jack. I think his name Jack's about. Telling him, look, listen, it's not about the money. There's someone that we, you know, it's a revenge. It's kind of like a revenge thing that he was getting at. And yeah, and Vigo said, you're the responsible for, you know, Kim, you know, the people I love, you know, on that attack, my brother. How could you do that to me? That everyone's going to appear on this train. That's everything to do with you, what's happening. You know, I mean, to start being honest and paying for what you've done. It was revenge, and it's mad. No one has suspected him. And then they had a bit of a fight scene, which should have been a bit more, to be fair. Yeah, and you would think, okay, you know, when he got limited out the door, because it was a scene where he was this defeater was up against a door, and when the door opened, when Jack opened the door, he went right out. And yeah, so went out, and you know, classic thing to do is get off my train. So you think that was it? You think, okay, how do you survive that? But Kessler runs into him again, because Kessler wanted to make sure everybody else was safe, and he had to make sure the carriage he was on was okay as well. So that had to be decoupled. I think, yeah, the other dudes went somewhere else. I don't know what other carriage they went into. So he went to that one, and I don't know what he done exactly, and I don't know. I think there was one scene I didn't get, where they had to put a hook, like a chain hook, to a helicopter, maybe to decrease the speed, but then the helicopter went and exploded. I didn't get that part. And you also see, you know, as soon as he gets to that car, he wanted to do it again because he wanted to get the parachute. I don't know what for. I think probably try and escape. I have no clue. I think there's a parachute, something in the bag. I have no idea what he was trying to get at, but you know, he was fighting him a little bit, and yeah, and I think he did eliminate him though. I think, what did he do? He tried to go on the roof, and I think he tried to stop him because the train was topsy-turvy. And he said, you know, they're both holding the bag together. He said, help me up, please help me, Kessler. And Kessler said, hang on. And then eventually, he couldn't, you know, the Vigo dude couldn't hang on. He went off the train. I would assume he's dead, so I don't know. This is the one thing I never understood when it came to military soldiers, is when they're both enemy soldiers. I know they're sort of the same platoon as their enemies, I don't know. I think they would see it on the same type of side. They have a fight, then they end up making up and be like, yeah, you know, we're good now, I'm so sorry for that. It's just like, okay, there was no point of fighting then. If you're going to forgive each other. And yeah, it was just a lot going in the movie. I can't lie on that one. All of you might have known Holly was behind anyway, but I don't know. And then at the end, near the end, the train just rams into the station. The station just, like exploded, like bang right into it, and it just destroyed basically. And yeah, they showed the helicopters going above the carriages. Wow. And this a part at the end where it just ended on a slightly like a what note. And then it ended with somebody saying, "Oh, actually, there's anyone in there?" And Kessa just goes, "Yay, woohoo!" It ended. I thought it was going to end with them all happy and with that train going up and running again. It didn't turn out that way. It just turned out with him just saying that, and I'm just like, they could have ended it on a slightly better note. I think there could have been a bit more fighting, but it wasn't that sort of action movie. It was more of an action thriller, and there was a tiny bit of a fight scene. Could have done with a bit more of that. I think it would have been made a whole lot more difference. I don't think that would change the rating because it was gripping. Everything was just beautiful. The acting was incredible. So fluent, stuck to their lines. It was insane. I don't know how much more I could talk about this. I don't want to keep going on and on. I think I described the movie enough, and I know I've got my words all mixed up, but when you know what to say or when you know how to describe something, you kind of lose track because there's so much you could talk about. It just gets you mad, but it gets you a bit hesitant and a bit like confusing, like not knowing how to word it. There's so much going on. I couldn't keep up with the movie whatsoever. It's like I knew how to describe it. I found the perfect words for it. But yeah, I didn't want to mention the other characters. Those were the main significant characters for me, to be fair. The main ones that actually made the movie. But it's a masterpiece. Excuse me, burped there a little bit. It was a masterpiece. And there's nothing negative I can say. Actually, apart from one thing. The train kind of looked like a bad CGI. I did think they could have done a bit better with the graphics. In terms of the train, I mean, that for me was kind of a bit of a disappointment. I know. I mean, I was gonna. I don't know. I don't know if that deserves to have a rating lowered by one, but that disappointed because I'm into my trains. Like not how I used to be as a kid, but I'm into my national rails, and that is a national rail line to me. But for me, I mean, I've been in the bullet train before. The Avanti West Coast, I'm pretty sure it's a bullet train. Yeah, I've been in that. It's quick. It's fast. It definitely is a bullet train because it has the little the long nose at the front. So, yeah, I don't know what you call it at the front, but I'm going to call it nose. I don't know what you call it. Yeah, I don't know what to make of that. It was very disappointing because the train should have looked a bit more appealing and attractive, especially graphics-wise in this day and age. It should have been at least a bit more better quality. So that's a bit of a disappointment. I do think I knocked the rating a bit up. They could have had better graphics in my opinion. So it would have been very flawless of a movie. But I think this will be a bit of a question mark. Yeah, this is I was going to give it a 10. But because I don't think the graphics ruined it a bit in terms of how the train looked. Yeah, it's a tough one for me to call because I kind of prefer the train to look a bit more computerized and stuff, a bit more upbeat and up to date. So it kind of looked like those children type models when you get those model trains. It kind of looked like that. It should have looked like it was a bit more brilliant, but the rest of it was good. It's just that it would have been a perfect, flawless movie, and they would have got a perfect score if that was a bit more, on the better graphics wise. But you know what? It's just a brilliant movie. It's an incredible movie. If they had the graphics on point, it would be wow. It would be a flawless, perfect movie to watch. I would highly recommend it. Anyways, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Yeah, I feel like the graphics kind of ruined it for me a bit. I was in between 9 or 10. I was going to give it a 10 because I thought it's an incredible, brilliant movie. And it still is. 8, 9 or 10 is a brilliant score. If it's 9, it's an incredible score. Because that means the movie is good and it's just lacking one thing. that's about it. But yeah, finally, whoever made this movie, make more movies like this again, please. It is incredible. And yeah, so 9 out of 10 it is. If you enjoyed the video, please give a like, comment, share everyone, subscribe and hit the bell notification below. So see you in my next video.